Hello and welcome to the Penalty Box Perspective podcast. My name's Nathaniel and I'm joined once again by my good friend Matt. How are you doing today?
Really good, Nathaniel. Yep, very good here. How are you? All good?
I'm very good indeed. I'm actually in positive spirits today, believe it or not. Makes a change. Maybe because I've just become numb to the Wild losing yet again. But we've got a bit of more of a fun episode coming up today. Obviously, the past few of these sort of mini podcasts, we've been talking about more serious subjects and getting nitty gritty. But I think we got a little smaller, funner one today.
Yeah, a bit of light reprieve. Obviously, most teams now, I think more or less all teams in the league now have played 10 games. So with us hitting the 10-game mark, we thought we'd do a team of the season draft so far. So there's going to be a team Matt, there's going to be a team Nathaniel. We're going to draft our lineups. Now, we're going to do it in a snake draft. So be one pick for one person, then the next person will take two, then the next person will take two. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Is that right, Nathaniel?
Yeah, it's how it works out. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And the only rule that we've got in place is that each lineup has to contain a current NHL rookie. Other than that, it's fair game. So, with that in mind, well, before we get to that, actually, I think there was a bit of news we just had to touch on, just keeping current and everything. I think there's a new contract to discuss. Yet another one.
Yeah, another one. This time, it's for a player who's probably been done a bit hard done by in the league up until this point. Quality player, but has not really found a home. But he has now. Martin Natchez signed with Colorado 8 years, 11.5 million a year. But I think it's quite front loaded this contract from what I've been reading. But yeah, great contract for him, really. I think.
Yep, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. 26 years old at the moment. Currently on a $6.5 million deal. Yeah, he'll be a UFA, age 35 in 2034. So yeah, I think the Colorado Avalanche more or less locking him up for the rest of the peak years of his career. He kind of ended up being a little bit of a pawn in the Mikko Rantanen saga that happened last year. But I think he's finally found a home at Colorado, and he's having a great opportunity to play with some absolutely fantastic players. And he's being able to showcase the abilities that he had. That was the reason why he was selected in the first round of the draft when he was.
Yeah, I think this will set him in good place. He's going to be playing with McKinnon for all these years and stuff. So I think that's a great contract for all involved, and especially when you look at other contracts. Obviously, we've spoken at length about like Demon and like setting the market like for them, and he's sort of in the same amount of money as some of these young stud defensemen. So I think very good all round, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we're seeing some of the forwards kind of getting new deals as well, the likes of Kyle Connor, Jack Eichel obviously getting a new deal as well. And he's kind of falling, within that sort of range that you would expect for a player of his ability and what he's able to do. He's got 13 points in 11 games on the season, 7 goals and 6 assists. So he's showing that he can be both a scoring threat as well as a creator as well. So, I think if you're Colorado, I think you're very happy with that contract as a whole.
Yeah, just a great, yeah, just a great organisation, isn't it? They're getting their stuff done, no dramas. Obviously, got rid of Rantanen but have signed a quality player instead. I think it's going to make them a better, more rounded team and a juggernaut. But yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, from there we'll move into our main bulk of today. The our top, our team of the season so far, sort of 10 plus games into the year. So what we'll do, Nathaniel, is I will be the gentleman. I will let you have the first pick.
Now, just in terms of prep for this episode, I think I got the wrong end of the stick in terms of this rookie stuff. So just to clarify, for my sake more than anybody else's, are we expecting a rookie, Matt, on the forward line and then the defensive line, or is it like one rookie per sort of first line, second line?
Just one rookie in your entire team, and that's absolutely fine with me.
That's fine. I've got potential several options. But right, a first overall pick. Oh, stress. Let's not mess this up, right? I think I'm gonna have to go with a player who, at the moment, is looking like sort of the best player in the league and is having the best season. So it's gonna get me lock down my centre early doors. Jack Eichel. I think not much explanation needed there. He's almost at 2 point a game mark at the minute. He's on a +7, absolutely stomping, working well with Mitch Marner. So yeah, he's going to be my first overall pick.
Yeah, no complaints there. Eichel already in the conversation for the Hart Trophy this year. He's just absolutely going off, and that contract already is going to look like an absolute steal with the extension he's signed in Vegas. So, got absolutely no qualms with that pick there. Good shout. Good shout.
Where are you going to go for your first and second picks?
So I am going to do the same thing. I am going to lock down my first centre, and I am going to take Nathan MacKinnon. I just think that we've seen how well Colorado have played off the jump. McKinnon's been a big part of that. He carries a lot of weight on his shoulders of having to be the guy in Colorado, and year after year he constantly shows that he's got absolutely no issues with being able to maintain that level of quality. So yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with the addition of Nathan MacKinnon there. I will take in my second choice. I will go with a player who is now, if we're looking individually as opposed to as a team, I think this player in particular is playing extremely well at the moment. On a team that is maybe stuttering a touch, hasn't played every single available game, I'm going to take one of my wing options, and that is going to be William Nylander.
It's a good shout. I was hoping I might get him a bit later on in a bit of a steal. Yeah, I mean, there were big questions about when Marner left. Can this team without? Well, they've got plenty of star names, haven't they? The Maple Leafs, but can Nylander pick up the points left behind by Marner? And he is doing. He's the standout in a team that is struggling at the moment. So I think that's a solid pick. Maybe a bit of a reach. I don't know. We'll see how the draft plays out. I mean, there's only two of us, but it could be a bit of a reach.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I think I've maybe got a little bit of a fantasy lineup bias as well. He's been crushing it for me so far this year. So, maybe got my fantasy tinted glasses on there. Can't remember if I mentioned this before we started. Yeah, I've no doubt. We'll be taking 2 centres each, 4 wingers each, 4 defensemen each, and a goalie. So we've got kind of two lines, so to speak, as well as a goaltender. So you're up with your next 2. Who do you like?
Right, well, I'm gonna run up to putting my ticket here. No question, easy. Let's get the defenseman out of the way. Cale Makar, again, along with McKinnon, he's just a stud. He's banging the goals. It is again more than a point per game. Solid on the D line as well. I just think that's an easy consensus. Let's get the best defenseman out of the way as well.
Yeah, that's again absolutely no qualms there. I think there's not too much in the wild card realm at the moment. I think there's a lot of players out there playing as they, as you would expect.
Yeah. And so where do I go here then? I think I'm going to take a winger here. Now, sadly, it's not going to be. I thought Kaprizov might have been up in this conversation, but for me, he's not cutting it. But I'm going to go for his fellow new contract friend, Carl Connor. I just think, I think he's had a sneaky, very, very good start to the season. He's scoring goals, he's getting assists, he's at more than a point per game as well. I mean, every player we're going to be talking about today might be a point per game player, but I just think he has shown exactly why he's got his contract. He's probably signed at a lower rate than what he deserves, and I just think he's a stud, and he's going to tie up that winger spot for me quite nicely.
Yeah, I always feel like with Kyle Connor that he's maybe someone who doesn't get the attention around the league that he deserves. I don't know if it's because he's playing in Winnipeg, and maybe just that there isn't as much national coverage on them as much, maybe. But I don't know. I always feel that Kyle Connor's always one of those players who gets fractionally sort of disrespected, maybe a little bit. I don't know if that's sort of fair to say or not, but he's such an elite player, both again, elite scorer, elite creator. He's got speed for days, such a great player to watch as well. And yeah, it just never seems like he's talked about as much in that kind of elite echelon. I don't know about you. I don't know if maybe that's just my perception.
Yeah, this kind of just flies under the radar a little bit, but he's not. I wonder whether it's just got like that. It's not a very sexy name, is it? Kyle Connor. It doesn't sound like it's not a. It's not
Yeah, possibly.
Nylander or Kaprizov or any insert any other name here, like Demidov. Like it's Kyle Connor.
Yeah,
He's the guy from Dalt Road, isn't it?
yeah. Well, yeah,
No.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Um, right, I am up. I am going to take my first defenseman, and I'm going to take a guy who will know Kyle Connor very well, as I'm taking his teammate
Oh,
Josh Morrissey as my first defensive pick there. 10 points in 11 games this season. He's also a plus 11 in the plus minus column, only taking 6 penalty minutes as well. So, he's done very well in that regard. He's got a couple of points on the power play this year as well. So he's doing well on his special teams, averaging 24, 46 on ice at the moment each game as well. So he's eating up minutes in that Winnipeg line. Really, really talented defenseman, and I think he's having a really great year so far. By the sounds of it, that was someone you were hoping you were going to be able to take there.
yeah, he's obviously up there. It was him and Makar as sort of my top two defensemen, so I knew he was going to go. But yeah, good pick, I reckon.
I am going to move into there, and I am going to take my rookie. And I'm also going to bolster my defense, and I'm going to take this year's first overall pick in the draft. I'm going to take Matthew Schaefer. I think Matthew Schaefer is one of the only reasons that New York Islanders team has been watchable this year. I think especially with young defensemen, teenage defensemen, it's so rare that you see them make the jump straight into the league and be that productive. I think he's come in, he's been confident, he's playing with swagger, he's got speed, and offense aside, he is showing as well that he can perform. In the defensive aspect of the game as well. He's averaging 22 minutes and 47 seconds on ice per game at the moment as well. So again, they're already issuing him big minutes, and he's and even still to be in a plus in the plus minus column. I know it's
Struggling
not.
team as well. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not the world's biggest barometer stat wise, I don't think, but yeah, I just think that he's playing really, really well, and as far as the number one pick goes, so far he's living up to the billing.
yeah, he's definitely uh, up there with sort of Demidov when we're looking at sort of rookie of the year. So I think that's a fairly obvious choice for getting a rookie on your team for this team of the year. 10 games in, a very
Mm.
very solid pick. Um, but considering you're attacking the defense quite a bit there, I'm sort of having to respond to that a little bit. So I'm going to go in with a pick for Zach Werenski for Columbus Blue Jackets. Again, another one sort of a sneaky pick. Or sneaky under the radar player, I think Werenski. I think Columbus haven't been doing much this year, but if you just look at what he's putting down, uh, 8 points in 10 games, 3 goals, 5 assists, but still on a +9. I think Columbus's top line is across the board are doing well, and their struggles are more sort of deeper down the lineup. But I think he's showing that he is a stud, he's a monster, and that's why I'm going to pick him as my second defenseman. Really.
I think I think that's a really good pick. Obviously, he had an absolutely outstanding season last year and was up there in the Norris Trophy votings as well. And he's carried that on this year, which is a real testament to to the player and the man as well. Averaging just under 26 minutes a game as well, 25:56 he's getting. So again, he's just absolutely just chewing up minutes on the ice out there, and being absolutely. I think he potentially leads the league at the moment in time on ice. He's not quite. He's third. He's third in time on ice in the league at the moment. But yeah, just an absolute monster. So that's a great pick.
Workhorse. Now, I want to go back to forwards again. Now, do I go centre or do I go wing? And I've got my eyes on two players. Which one do I go for? Toss up here. I am going to go for Cole Caulfield with my next pick. Now, I think he had a bit of a slower start, but he's showing now in this past week or so just how great a player he is. And on that great young Montreal team, he's standing out ahead of quite a few of the players there. And I just think he's having a great season, and he's going to be up there in sort of the NHL's next sort of big superstar, I think, really.
Yeah, I love that pick. Absolutely love that pick. We spoke quite a lot about Caulfield in our most recent recap episode. 13 points on the season in 11 games, plus 7 at the moment as well. And just 3 game-winning goals as well, all of which have come in overtime. He now leads the franchise record. Still such a young player as well, with so much more to give as his career develops. I think he's been an absolute clutch magnet for Montreal this season, and them as a team have been absolutely outstanding to watch. So yeah, I think again that's a lovely pick.
Okay, he's a stud.
Easy
you.
pick. Right, so let me just put Caulfield in the wing spot there. So I am going to take my second centre with this next pick, and this may come as a bit of a left field pick, but I'm going to take them based off of what I think was expected compared to what they have produced, and I think that goes on an individual basis and it goes as a team basis as well. My second centre, I'm going to take Evgeny Malkin. I think he has been absolutely unbelievable. 17 points in 12 games. Obviously, this is 10 games in. We don't know what's going to happen health-wise with him. Is he going to stay healthy? Who knows what's going to happen? But what is going on in Pittsburgh at the moment, a team who we fully expected to be right around the doldrums of the league as of today and on Halloween, they are currently leading the entire NHL in the point standings. So absolutely, I don't think anyone had that on their bingo card this season. But Malkin has been rolling back the years this year. Absolutely, brilliant performance. He's getting, big minutes out there, playing really well. And, I think as far as second line centers go, he's showing he can still do it even at his age.
Fair shout. Fair shout. He wasn't on my list actually, so again for me that I'll consider that a bit of a reach. No doubt he's had a solid start to the year, but also he's just I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased and thinking of Pittsburgh. It's all a show, and they're not actually that good. I can't deny you've made a very very strong argument, and I'm now reconsidering what I should have done, but.
I am going to take my next pick then, and I am going to fill out another one of my wing spots. And again, someone who's kind of risen to the occasion, already an elite player, but is fully kind of pushing on with that this year and showing that they can be a leader on that team, is Adrian Kempe from the LA Kings. Obviously, LA, they've had a reasonable start to the season, I would say. I think they'd maybe like to think they would be a couple of points better off. But, obviously the big story in LA this year is the retirement of Anze Kopitar and how that team's going to look moving forward. And, Adrian Kempe's on an expiring deal this year. He's going to need a new contract. I think he will get that in LA. But 15 points in 12 games, 5 goals, 10 assists. He's a +4 on the year with... with 4 points on the power play as well this year. So he's proven effective both in special teams, as well as 5-on-5. He's got a 1956 time on ice average as well. So again, forward out there getting big top line minutes, and I've been really impressed with Kempe this year. I think he's a fantastic player. And when we talk about contracts, and we talk about the kind of benchmark numbers, and you look around that sort of 11.5, 12 region, I think that'll be Adrian Kempe's. I think that wouldn't be unfair to say that's where his next contract's going to land.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think Nature's signing his contract early doors. Again, you always want to be kind of like the last person to sign your contract because then you can test the market and say you want a bit more than the person before. But yeah, I reckon that level's quite good, and he's had a great year. Again, I wanted to sort of to push on a bit more. I think I don't know whether the whole team performances are biased in my judgment on individual performances, but he's definitely a great player.
You're up.
I'm up, and I am going to take my second centre, Shafley for the Winnipeg Jets. That's where I want to go.
Can't
And
complain with that.
the more I talk about these players and making the selections, the more I'm feeling like I'm leaning towards sort of certain teams rather than others. Really, I just think he's got 18 points in 11 games. It's equal spread. He's shooting them in and passing as well. Solid defensively as well. He's just a very good, solid centre, and for me a great backup to Eichel.
Yeah, no, you can't. You'd be happy with a 1-2 punch of Eichel and Scheifele, wouldn't you? That's got absolutely zero complaints there in that regard. Yeah, terrific pick. It was very close between Scheifele and Malkin for me, but I went with Malkin. I think maybe for the nostalgia factor, I think getting the better of me there.
Yeah, don't blame you. It's a nice sentiment to have. Now, I thought going into this draft, I would just end up picking the goalkeeper last because everyone ends up, well, goalkeepers end up getting picked last, don't they, generally speaking. But I'm going to put some respect on this man's name and draft him a bit higher up than where I was thinking. But Dobes for Montreal, I think, has had a standout start to the season. Now, he's been sort of a bit of a tandem with Montembeault, but showing the contrast between the two keepers between the two games. He's only played 6 games this year, but when he has done, he's absolutely smashed it. He's the only keeper at the minute, I think, who's played regular minutes, who's under a 2 goals against average per game. He's got a 9.30 save percentage on the season, and huge in the win column as well. So I just think he's been the standout keeper for me this year, and that's why I'm going to put some respect on his name and draft him this high up.
Yeah, absolutely. What a surprise. A 5th round pick from Montreal in the 2020 draft. Yeah, what I think as well, he will be eligible for the Calder Trophy this year as well. So let's not rule him out in terms of that conversation. He could well be up there with the likes of Demidov, with the likes of Schaefer. So potentially, I think you may have just boxed off your rookie there as well. I could be wrong, but terrific.
I do have another couple I'm looking at, so
fair enough. But yeah, 6 games this season, 6 wins. Yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic, and what a standout! I think everyone expected Montembeault to get the bulk of the start so far this season, but yeah, he's really staking a claim there for a starting position.
Back to you.
Yeah, back to me. Now, I'm going to take my goalie. And again, I'm picking this player based off of what was expected of the player, what was expected of the team. I think you know where I'm going with this. I'm taking for my goalie, I am taking Spencer Knight from the Chicago Blackhawks. I had to do it. I had to get at least one Blackhawk in there. I would have felt like I was doing them a disservice if not. But hear me out on this, okay? Spencer Knight, it's his first season in the NHL as a certified starter. Obviously, he's been kind of Sergei Bobrovsky's backup more or less. His entire career. Came in last season as a part of the Seth Jones trade, and put a lot of weight on his shoulders this year. For him to carry the bulk of the starts. He's still a young guy, but he has been absolutely fantastic for the Blackhawks this season. He has been solely responsible, I think, in a few of those games for them getting wins where maybe they on other nights they would have very easily lost them. I think quite a lot of people have been surprised with the start the Blackhawks have made this season. I think certainly I've been surprised with the start the Blackhawks have made this season. I think they're becoming an exciting, watchable team. And I think a lot of the confidence that the team is playing with at the moment is playing with the knowledge that they've got an extremely gifted goaltender behind them. So, okay, I appreciate, it would have been very easy for me to go for someone like Connor Hellebuck or Scott Wedgwood or something like that. But for me, I just think, he's, for what he's had to deal with this year in terms of being the starter on a team expected to do next to nothing, I think he's been outstanding.
I like how we've both gone a bit left field with our keepers because, like you mentioned, Wedgwood and Hellebuck, and that they are in some ways the sort of like the standout sort of keepers this year. But we've both gone a bit rogue with our picks, and I like that because it's good to have fresh faces in the league. Goalkeeper's a position where people go hot and cold as well. But yeah, I agree. Spencer Knight's had a great start to the year, and Chicago's had a great start to the year. So I don't begrudge you having a bit of a pick there for Chicago. To be fair,
Yeah, you got. I think with the start they've had, I wanted to try and get one in there. And for my next pick, I am
I
going
think it's
to.
mine, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it? Are we?
Did you? Were you?
No, I started with
Am
my
I?
goalie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yes, yeah, you did, yeah. Oh, I was ready to jump
Easy,
in and take
easy,
advantage.
Nathaniel. Easy now. Hold your horses. I'm going to take Jake Sanderson from the Ottawa Senators as another one of my defensive picks there. I really like the game he's been playing this season. Again, I know it's not been easy for Ottawa at the start of the year. I know obviously they've had to deal with the Kachuk injury and everything like that, but I just think solely on an individual basis, he's playing absolutely fantastic hockey at the moment. He's the second highest point scoring defenseman in the league. 10 points in 11 games. 11 points in 12 games, sorry. He is sat at -1, but, again, I do think plus minus is a slightly overblown stat, in my opinion. But, he's also, got a 10.3% shooting percentage at the moment as well, which for a defenseman is really not bad at all. Currently, I mean, he beats Cale Makar in that stat. He beats Slane Hudson in that stat. Rasmus Dahlin he beats in that stat. As well as getting 23-42 on ice a night as well. So again, another guy tasked with the responsibility of getting some big minutes in there for the Senators. And he's living up to the billing. I think he's been a real bright spark for them this year.
Yeah, I think his stats are a bit of the victim of the fact that Ottawa can't play a normal game this year.
No,
But
absolutely not.
but sometimes, like in these crazy games, and you have a standout performer, that's what really grasps your attention. I think I agree. He's had a very solid start to the year. He wasn't a player I was going to go down, so I'm happy that we're having some perspectives on this. But yeah, solid player. I can't argue with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that I could change anything if I did.
Right, now it's back to you, Nathaniel.
Is it? Are you sure? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Right. So I need a couple of wingers. I need a couple of defensemen. Where am I going to go? I want to go for my rookie selection here, my actual planned rookie selection. And again, I'm going to premise this pick to say that when you have a rookie defenseman joining the league, etc., your main aim for them is to really not get noticed that much and not making many mistakes. Now, I play Alexander Nikishin for the Carolina Hurricanes. He's just averaging just slightly less than 20 minutes a game, so he's not playing a lot of ice time. But have been impressed by, I guess, his defensive prowess. He's not a big scorer, and I know you said the plus minus is a bit of a misleading stat. But when you got a team like Carolina coming in and he's jumping in and playing and not making mistakes, I think he's in with a good shout for a very solid year.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I like that pick. I think when you look at defensive defensemen, especially, I think he's been really good. And like I say, I think has flown under the radar on a Carolina team that's just been has started the year really really well. So yeah, I like that pick. I like that pick a lot.
Uh, I'm gonna go back to wingers now, and I've got a few on my list that I'm looking at, and I'm thinking, right, who's had the better year so far? Now I'm gonna go for simply based off of scoring here. No other option. I've got a few here, and I couldn't really pick between them. I want to go Dorofeyev simply for the fact that he's just banging them in for fun at the moment, and when you're sort of that close to the top of the goal scoring charts, you deserve to have like, someone sing your praises, really.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. Again, I Dorofeyev I was very happy with picking him up in my fantasy team this year, and he's paying that off massively. He's been an absolute goal merchant this year. I think he ties the league in goals at the moment. I think, um, from what I understand, I believe so. Yeah,
Yeah, there's quite
um,
a few players on 9 goals. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. He's right up there at the moment. So yeah, playing really well. And I think again, I don't think people were necessarily expecting him to to go off the way he has this year, but yeah, he's been terrific, hasn't he? Proper sniper.
yeah, absolutely.
Good
Right,
stuff.
back to you
Back
then.
to me. I have, I believe, 3 positions to fill, so I need one more defenseman and 2 more wingers. I think I'm going to get my wingers boxed off and away. Now, the first one I will take is going to be. I'm going to take Jesper Bratt. Now, New Jersey have been absolutely fantastic this year. They've started like a house on fire. They have shown exactly what they can do when they're all fit and healthy and everyone's out there contributing and scoring. And, Bratt's been a great example of that. He's got 4 goals and 9 assists on the year, playing really, really well. He's got a shooting percentage at the moment of 21.1%, which is maybe not sustainable over the course of a year, to say the least. But yeah, that's he's been really, really impressive, and I like Jesper Bratt a lot. I think he's a very, very gifted player. And I think that he's sort of epitomised the start to the year that Devils team has had.
Yeah, they've had a great start to the year, and along with sort of Jack Hughes, who I think we'd all prefer to have picked up over Bratt. We think he's a better player, but he's a centre, and we've already picked our centres. But after Jack Hughes, Bratt has been the standout player for the Devils. So he was one of the ones I was thinking about rather than taking Dorofeyev. I just went for Dorofeyev purely just because of goals, goals, goals. But yeah,
Yeah,
good pick, mate.
yeah. Thank you. I think that's. I think that's. I don't think you were wrong in taking Dorofeyev at all. I think he's been. I think he's been brilliant. Um, okay, my final pick is going to be. Well, my final pick for this one anyway. Before I wrap up my final defenseman, I'm going to take. You know
Drum
what? I'm
roll,
going to go.
please.
I'm gonna. I like the slightly sort of left field picks, and again, I'm going to explain my reasoning why. I'm the reason why I'm taking this player. My final winger, I'm going to take Justin Brazeau from the Pittsburgh
Oh,
Penguins.
oh, you fucking. He was going to be my last pick, and he was going to be like pumping up. No, go on. You
Oh,
lead off
sorry,
on him.
man. Sorry. Now, again, this Pittsburgh Penguins team has vastly outperformed, I think, anything that anyone expected of them, but none more so than Justin Brazeau, who's played 12 games this season. He's got 6 goals, he's got 6 assists, so he's playing at a point per game at the moment. He's a +3 in that column as well. 6'6", 27 years old, and let's not forget as well, this guy was an undrafted player. So he was picked up as a free agent by Boston in 2024. He's had to bounce around a little bit. He's wound himself up on this Pittsburgh team as a free agent this year, and yeah, just what an unbelievable season. And I really do like the stories of the late round picks who absolutely go off. And yeah, I've just really liked his game this year, and I think he plays with a lot of size. He plays with a lot of physicality, and yeah, he's been a complete wild card for me this year. And I think the last thing that anyone would have expected, and God, like retrospectively, I'm sure with the way he's playing this year, they'd have loved to have had him at Minnesota, wouldn't they?
That's why I was going to lead off on like the best player for the Minnesota Wild. Essentially, could have been our fourth line winger grinder that we had last year. Uh, it's just the epitome of how my season's going as a fan of NHL. But also, I also love the underdog story. And he started off the season hot, and he just keeps going. And you start to think, well, actually, is this what he could have been this whole time, kind of thing? But yeah, great start to the year. I'm really chuffed for him, and I'm chuffed for you for having jumped ahead of me and got him in your team.
Yeah, yeah. If you'd have told me before the start of the season that we'd be doing a team of the year after 10 games, and you were to tell me that I would have 2 Pittsburgh Penguins in my lineup, I would have laughed you out of the room. But yeah, I've just been super impressed with him, and a little kind of like notable stat as well. Not a single penalty minute this year for Justin Brazeau. Um, which again, you look at
It's too important.
well, yeah, you got to keep him out the box because he's out there banging in goals and creating chances. So yeah, what a what a player, and I'm really excited to see kind of how he ends up at the end of the season. He's on for a career year.
Yeah, he is good for him. Um, so I'll go into I think it's my final two
Your
picks.
final two, and then I've got a
Right.
defenseman's take at the end.
Can I pay you back and take your defenseman? Is it worth me sacrificing maybe who I want to try guess who you want? Um, before I come to that decision, I'll take my last winger. A Voronkov for the Columbus Blue Jackets
Yeah,
is who I'm going to go for. Um, on a team with Marchenko and Monahan and other players like Werenski, star players, you kind of don't look at maybe some of the other players that are playing, but he's playing at a point per game, again spreading the goals and the assists, and again that old trusty plus minus. I just think he's having a sneaky, very very good start to the season, and yeah, I don't really know what much more to say. I was considering. And considering you're not having another forward pick, I'll mention an honourable mention is Lekanen for Colorado as well. He was the other one I was considering. Do you
mm.
want to go for Voronkov?
Yeah, yeah. Good shout. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
And moving on, okay, so oh, I've got three names down for defensemen here. Lane Hudson is who I
Yeah,
want to go for. I
Yeah,
know he's had a
good
couple
shout.
a couple of moments, but I think he's cracking on just with how he finished last year. Solid player on a great, fun, entertaining Montreal team. So I think their defense needs a bit of love in this episode for how well they've been doing this year as well. So he is my last pick.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, really good shout. Really good shout. I yeah, don't hate that whatsoever. And that I think wraps your team up. No,
It does, yeah.
oh, good stuff. Good stuff. So I have one more defenseman to take. Right.
Is he going to make it three?
No, absolutely not. No, I'm not taking Eric Carlson if that's what you were thinking. Um, no,
Go on.
no, absolutely not. Um, you know what? I'm uh, I'm gonna do it. Not Eric Carlson. I am gonna take. Am I? The suspense must be killing you. No, actually, you know what? I was going to go with a left field pick. Let's not overthink this final one. I'm going to take Thomas Harley. I think he's been brilliant on that Dallas side this season. Obviously, he's got his new contract. Um, 24 years old. He's really coming in. Coming into his own in that team, and showing himself that he is an elite defenseman in this league and not just someone who has the potential to be so. I've really liked his game this year. It was between him. I was potentially going to see how I could float you with putting Zeev Buyam in there, but just for how well he's doing as a rookie.
Ooh,
But then I know he has been getting a little bit shelled, hasn't he, in the last couple of games. Not necessarily his
the
fault,
Wild have.
but I thought, you know what, I've already taken Brazeau as a wild card. I can't go sticking Boyum in there as well. So yeah, I will have Thomas Harley to wrap up my team, and I think that is both rosters complete. So just to recap that for everyone listening, Team Matt has as two centres Nathan McKinnon and Evgeny Malkin, with wingers of William Nylander, Adrian Kempe, Jesper Bratt, and Justin Brazeau. Defensemen of Josh Morrissey, Matthew Schaefer, Jake Sanderson, and Thomas Harley, with Spencer Knight in goal. And then, Nathaniel, do you want to rattle off your lineup?
Yep. So I'm centered by Jack Eichel and Mark Shafley from the Winnipeg Jets, with wingers for Kyle Connor, Voronkov, Cole Caulfield, and Dorofeyev, and then a blue line of Makar, Werenski, Hudson, and Nikishin, with Dobes in the net.
Fantastic.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
two
we
great
will be.
teams, I think.
Yeah, they would both be cup contenders for sure if you were to have those. Um, that was fun. Really enjoyed that. So I am going to be producing some graphics for our lineups that will go on our social media platforms on both Instagram and X at the PBP Podcast. And I might also potentially run a little poll as well to see, who the listeners think is going to have which lineup would win, and see who comes out on top there. But yeah, no, that was fun. So we will revisit this maybe after the 30 game mark, maybe after the 50 game mark, and then sort of once we get again to the end of the regular season. But yeah, you enjoy that, Nathaniel?
I enjoyed that. A bit of fun. We're probably completely wrong, and there'll be completely different teams further down the line. But this is why we watch hockey, as we follow the storylines, follow the players as they go along, and yeah, being a fun one. This one.
Yeah, good. Yeah, absolutely, good stuff. So we will be we'll be back with our next weekly review. I just wanted to touch finally on. I just want to thank everyone for their sort of patience with us. Last couple of episodes, we have been running some sort of some copyright issues with with Spotify and with YouTube and everything like that. So that's been like a small little hiccup that we're just trying to sort of leap over, but we are looking at getting those episodes back up online today for everyone to listen to. So I do apologise if if you've been looking for those episodes and they haven't been there, but you're on the case, aren't you, Nathaniel?
I certainly am. Um, yeah, we're trying to new things. We're preparing to post on YouTube as well, and that comes with a video format, and that hasn't agreed with some of the music that we've been using. But no worries, it's all sorted. Just needs a bit of work, and they'll be back out for you all to listen to. A bit of a change up in the schedule. I think we will be recording our recap on Monday this coming week rather than the Wednesdays like it has been. But yeah, so I can't wait for that episode and talk about more hockey and
Yeah,
try to forget about the Wild.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Hopefully they can pick up some points in the win column, so you're a little bit more cheery when we go through it. But as always, guys, so as I just mentioned, you can find us on Instagram and X at the PBP Podcast. You can also get in touch with us at Gmail at penaltyboxperspective@gmail.com. If you've got any feedback, any questions, or anything like that. If you do send questions in to us, like a mailbag show or an answering your questions show, is definitely something that we would look into for one of these sort of midweek for one of these sort of shorter episodes. So yeah, just let us know if there's anything that you want to anything you want to know, either about hockey or about us or anything you like. As always as well, any sort of 5-star review on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify is always greatly appreciated. It helps us out massively. And as always, thanks for being on the journey and being here with us.
Yeah, absolutely, and we will see you next week. Take care.